my learners out there. I am Margaret Sarah and I'm going to teach you about trigonometry. In this lesson, we will talk about law of sines, cosines, and a little bit exploration on law of tangents. Before we start, here's a brief background about trigonometry. It is a branch of mathematics that studies relationships between side lengths and angles of triangles. The importance of learning this lesson is because sines, cosines, and tangents are functions that relate an angle with a ratio of two sides in a triangle. The first law, which is the law of sines. The formula of it is side A over sine angle A equal to side B over sine angle B, which is also equal to side C over sine angle C. However, this formula could also take several forms because of derivation. Always take note that this law of sines is only used for ASA or AES triangles and SSA triangles. Now let's have an example for ASA case, which can also be used for AES cases. We have angle A as 59.1 degrees, side B with 11.5 inches, and angle C with 45.1 degrees. Angle B, side A, and side C remains unknown. We find the third angle of the triangle by subtracting 180 degrees to the measurement of the given angles. As a result, we got 75.8 degrees for angle C. Now we would solve for side A. This is the time we would use the law of sines. Use the formula a while ago, then substitute the values. Calculate it and we would get 10.18 inches for side A. We did the same thing in order to solve for side C, so we got the answer of 8.40 inches. Now that we are finished with the first law, let's move on with the second law, which is the law of cosines. The formulas of this law are: remember that law of cosines are only used for SAS triangles and SSS triangles. For the SAS case, the first step would be finding the opposite side of the given angle by using the law of cosines. Here's a triangle with angle A as 100.67 degrees, side B as 7.98 inches, and side C as 10 inches. Side A, angle B, and angle C are unknown. From the first step, we used law of cosines, substituted the values once again, and calculated. We got 13.90 inches for side A. Next step would be finding the angle opposite to the shorter of the two given sides. Since side B is the shortest side, we would find angle B first. We could use either law of sines or cosines for the second step, but here we used law of sines. We derived the formula, fill in the values, and computed. To get rid of sine in the other side, we multiply both sides with sine -1. In the end, we got 34.06 degrees. Last step would be subtracting all measurements of angles to 180, resulting to 45.27 degrees. Now for the SSS case, the first step would be finding the angle opposite to the longest side by using the law of cosines. Here's a triangle of side C as 9, side B as 8, and side A as 3. All angles are unknown. From the first step, we derived the formula including multiplying both sides with cosine -1, substituted the values, and calculated the quantities in the parentheses first. As a result, we got 99.79 degrees for angle C. Next step would be finding either of the remaining angles by law of sines or cosines. Again, we used law of sines for easier calculation. Perform the basic calculations once again, and we would come up with an answer of 18.66 degrees. For the last step, subtract all measurements with 180 again, and we would receive 61.55 degrees. The last law of functions would be law of tangents. This is just an additional information to you in order to find another way of computing angles. The derivation of this laws involves certain identities from the previous laws we've learned a while ago. So, this law of tangents does not have any proof yet, but we could explore our skills and knowledge in using this in SAS triangles. Therefore, these are the formulas we used for law of tangents. And we're done. But before we finish, let's have a short recap. In trigonometry, we learned 3 laws. The law of sines for ASA or AAS triangles and SSA triangles. The law of cosines for SAS and SSS, and law of tangents for SAS triangles as well. If you're confused or a little bit rattled, you could try solving these questions. If you want to, you could even answer the question for law of tangents to enhance your skills at math. Try and try until you succeed. If you think that you are wrong, always remember math. Math means mistakes allow thinking happen. Thank you for listening.